What's up, creative people? I hope you're all having a great week. In today's video, I will be showing you a cool method that you can use to alter specific colors in your shots, all in Adobe Premiere. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing. Give this video a like. It helps a lot on YouTube's algorithm so that other creatives like you are able to find this video. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm on my timeline right now and I have this shot. You can see it's Young Ma. It's mostly in red. Now let's say I want to change these colors. So to play around with the colors on this video, go to effects and look for a change. Under color correction, there should be change color and change to color. I'll specify what both of them do. Let's drag the change color right now and go to our effect controls. You'll find your change color effect right here. And if you cannot find these effect controls, go to window and make sure effects controls is enabled. Now we have a set of parameters that you can adjust. And the most important one is this one, which you can highlight the color which you want to change. So just pick this eyedrop tool and select on the scene. Now there are usually two ways which you can change color. You can adjust using RGB and hue. It's up to you to play around with them and see what gives you the results which you are looking for. So for now, I want to change this through a hue transformation. If I bump up the hue, you can see the set turns green and more colors, blues, and everything else. To fix these choppy parts, all you need to do, come right here into your matching tolerance. If I bump the figure up a little bit, you can see it was on the lower scale, it was at nearly 14. If I go up, I'm able to sort of select the entire scene. And now with the matching tolerance at 92, you can set the hue transformation at whichever color you want. I would make a cut, go for your razor tool, make a cut here, make a cut here. We can change these settings on every clip so that it changes. We can come to this clip, make it 194, and then on the next one right here we can let it stay green. So we come from this green, this blue, and then this green. Just like that, you can go on with this thing. You can add another cut, and on this layer, the last one, you can bring it back to red by resetting the parameter for hue. Now there's another way you can go around this. Instead of making cuts, you can add keyframes. So let's add keyframes for hue. I know I haven't touched on the difference between hue and RGB. I feel like it's nearly the same, but you can get a different result depending on the parameters you change. I try very often to avoid the lightness and saturation because they affect the entire image. They are not really important in this scenario whereby we are trying to change these specific colors. Now, instead of what I did, or instead of adding cuts, you can add keyframes. Let's add keyframe for hue. Right now we are at 0, and then go about 2 seconds ahead or 1 second, and then I can go through a set of colors like this. If I go back, we go from here, we change through a set of colors. And then in that way, you can add more keyframes and have this video loop and change colors intermittently. So let me go a few frames ahead. I can go higher. See, we've gotten to this pink. And at this point, you can just copy these keyframes, hit Ctrl+C, and then after about 1 second here, I can paste them. Now if I play this video, this is what it looks like. It kind of gives you the fake strobe, and if you want to make this even more captivating, just put the keyframes closer to each other so that it can look like a sort of strobe, as if you have set up some lights in this room. I'll copy these keyframes, let me extend just the time, and then at this point I'll paste these other keyframes, and you can have these different looks as if you had different lights on set. Now there is this other way. Let me delete the change color and go to effects and drag the change to color. With the change to color effect, the difference is that you are able to pinpoint which color you're trying to actually get without guessing through the hue. So I'll pick this pen drop, put it there, and then I can specify which color I want. Now I can put it to this purple, and look, the entire set looks that purple. I'm able to be a little bit more specific. And then it has more options to change. You can change by hue and lightness and saturation. Whenever you change these ones, it becomes kind of choppy because whenever lightness and saturation is involved, it becomes a little bit problematic for the look that you're aiming for. And then you can also adjust the softness. If you want it to blend very well into the scene, bump up this value. And then this view correction matte shows you the part which is being affected by this effect. So all the areas in white are the ones being affected. And now I'd like to show you something else. You can see this was an indoor shot. Now let's imagine we have an outdoor shot like this one. We have Kahush right here. In this shot, I want to change the color of these leaves. I want to change the color of these leaves, and hopefully we can maintain the color of the artist so that it's not affected. So we go to our effects, we can drag any. So let me drag the change to color. It will enable me to be more specific. I'll pick this color, which is this pink, and then I can choose which color I want it to be. Let us give it that green. And then you can change the softness here so that it blends very well. Instead of looking like this, you can do a lot of things. You see, I'm adjusting the tolerance of the hue, because if it gets so high, it will also affect the entire sky and everything. So at around 60, I think we are getting something good. About 30, right at 30. If you need to be more specific while drawing this one, just drop this bar, and then you have this slider, which is much more easier to work with. Now with those small fixes, you can see the hue at 32, the softness at 0, we have the desired results. But now at this point, we have one problem to solve. We'd like the artist to not be affected. Now this is very easy. Within the change to color parameters, there is the free draw bezier. It will enable you to draw a mask. Now I'll go at the beginning of this frame, pick this one, enlarge my screen, and then I have many tutorials around masking. I want to create a rough mask around the artist. It doesn't have to be really perfect. You can zoom in so that you can be a little bit more specific. Just go around the artist. I'll link down below my tutorial for masking. It's very helpful for anyone who has trouble with this part. I'm also not trying to be very perfect with it, because it doesn't really have to be perfect. We want the effect to only apply to the rest of the image. So see when I'm done. Okay, I'm done making a selection of the artist around the first frame, but I feel like it's really disadvantageous when I have these many anchor points on this artist, because from this step, all you need to do is to toggle the animation for mask path. After about every 5 frames, I can hold shift and hit my right arrow direction to go 5 frames, click back on the mask, and then you need to adjust these points. The problem with this is that you'll have to adjust so many track points, and that's why it's advisable to do this on After Effects, or alternatively highlight keyframes using your selection tool. Like I'll come right here, try to avoid this hand tool, highlight, and then try moving these all at once. And I hope you can see the problem with having so many keyframes. Doing this over the next few seconds will take a little bit more time, but I hope you get the gist of it. Since we did invert the effect, it will only affect everything but the artists, as you could see in this first frame. I decided to go on trying to follow up with this mask. Some of the things that you might encounter and want to deal with. Let's say you don't need a specific track point. Let me show you which one I had. Like this one. I didn't need this track point anymore. How to delete it? Hold Control, and then you'll see your pen tool. It has this subtraction thing, so it will remove that anchor point. I'll do the mask up to right here, and then we can just play it and see if we've gotten it right. I'll bump up the feather a little bit. Yeah, you can see that's a really good mask which we've made, and it has enabled us to change the color behind. We can add more changes if we need to. We can change the color. Remember, we have all these options to your disposal. I can put the leaves on this yellow, but I think I love this green. Yeah, and that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video as I did while prepping it for you guys. If you happen to do something like this, kindly tag me on Instagram. My handle is right beside on the screen. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a lovely weekend ahead and make sure to keep chasing your dreams. Cheers.